Hello, Genesee County. This is Matt Landers. I'm the Genesee County Assistant County Manager and the moderator of our community outreach effort that we have labeled Genesee Connects. Our goal here is to connect information directly from the experts in our community to the residents that want and need this information. We plan on recording a few of these sessions each week and publish them on the Genesee County website, along with distributing them to our local media. We will touch on a variety of issues facing the citizens of Genesee County, and we'll use this as an avenue to inform the people on how they are able to interact or conduct business with Genesee County government during these uncertain times. Today's session or discussion will be focused on messaging from professionals in our community tasked with helping our vulnerable adult and youth populations, along with some messaging from the YWCA for people that may need to report domestic violence incidents. Participating in today's discussion from the Genesee County Department of Social Services is Ben Dennis, who is the Director of Services, and Carrie Herman, who is the Supervisor for the Adult Protective Services Unit. We have Teresa Asmus-Roth joining us from the Child Advocacy Center, where she is the Executive Director. In addition, we have Justina Garner from the YWCA joining us. Justina is the Program Director for the Domestic Violence Crisis and Prevention Services at the YWCA. Ben and Teresa will focus their talks on protecting our youth and what people should be looking out for and when to report an incident. Carrie will focus on protecting our vulnerable adult population and give some tips on what to do if you suspect something is wrong. And Justina will focus on domestic violence issues and what people should be looking out for and what victims can do to reach out for help. I'll have phone numbers listed on the screen that you can use to report incidents or reach out for assistance. Except for an occasional question, the floor is all yours. Ben, you want to start us off?
Yes, thank you, Matt. As Matt stated, my name is Ben Dennis. I'm the Director of Social Services for Genesee County. Genesee County, as Matt stated, we're committed to providing the same quality child welfare services to our community as we always have been, as we navigate through this crisis with the COVID-19 virus. The services at Genesee County Child Protective Services and Preventive Services programs, although being at 50% of the building workforce, we are still fully operational and here to support the parents and children in our community. Life in New York State and in Genesee County seems upside down to many people right now. Instead of planning to come together for family celebrations, Passover, Easter, we're confined to our homes. Many families are touched by job losses, reduction in hours. Individuals who normally receive mental health or substance abuse services, they're reduced to having telehealth treatment or in some instances, no treatment options at all. Children who would normally be at school are confined to their home. If you think stress may be affecting you or the way you respond to your family, believe me, you are not alone. If you just want some extra support, we encourage you at the very minimum to talk to someone or to tell a friend, healthcare provider, or leader in your faith community about your concerns. Do not be afraid to accept help. Accept offers from friends, family, neighbors, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. We also want to assure the residents of Genesee County that the Department of Social Services and our programs in child welfare are here, and we are encouraging parents and other caregivers to reach out if they need help during this difficult time. There are resources that are available to parents and other caregivers who need support and assistance. The phone number, if you want to put it on the screen, Matt, for the 1-800-CHILDREN, this is, parents can call, this is the New York State Parent Helpline, 1-800-CHILDREN. Thanks, Matt. The Genesee County Department of Social Services has an excellent preventive services program that can be accessed simply by walking in the front door at 5130 East Main Street, Batavia. It's recommended, of course, that you call prior, especially during the current outbreak. You can call and ask for our Preventive Services Department at 585-344-2580. So preventive services, they're designed to strengthen families. They help parents or caregivers provide an environment where children can thrive. Like preventive health care, these services address early symptoms of family problems that, if left untreated, may result in a breakdown of the family unit. Our preventive services program is supportive and rehabilitative. There are services that are provided to children and their families for the purpose of averting an impairment or disruption of the family or that could result in the disruption of the family unit. As child welfare professionals, we believe that every child deserves to be protected from harm in a stable, nurturing environment. Our goals for all children are safety, permanency, and well-being. Preventive services play a crucial role in achieving these goals, as they're designed to improve the well-being of the family as a whole and the safety and security of the children in those families. In New York State, families sometimes come to the child welfare system because of a report of suspected child abuse or maltreatment. You do not need to call the child abuse hotline in order to access preventive services. Again, if you want to put the number on the screen, Matt, the number for our preventive services is 585-344-2580. If determined eligible for services, a qualified trained caseworker will be available for general in-home casework counseling and can make additional referrals for parent training and parent aid services. We also offer counseling, clinical services, referrals for transportation, respite care, preventive housing, and daycare where available. The voluntary preventive services are provided regardless of income, but only when a family agrees to accept them. An assigned caseworker would work in conjunction with the caretaker to develop goals and objectives. In these critical times, such as what we're currently experiencing, preventive services may be even more helpful than ever. Our services are always confidential and culturally sensitive. Now, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. Since the onset of the virus, child welfare agencies across the country are reporting decreased numbers of calls to the respective child abuse reporting lines. The direct phone number for Genesee County Child Protective Services is 585-344-2580. And the New York State toll-free hotline is 1-800-342-3720. Matt, we got that phone number listed for Child and Family Services, if you want to put that on the screen. Child Protective Services operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they don't close. Child Protective Services for Children are activities on behalf of persons under the age of 18 who are suspected of being abused or maltreated. A report to the hotline will initiate an investigation and an assessment of safety to children. The assessment will also include a risk and needs assessment. Child Protective Services workers are trained to make arrangements for referrals for individual or family counseling, parent training, emergency shelter, or financial assistance where appropriate, as well as arranging for the provision of appropriate rehabilitative services, including but not limited to preventive services and foster care for children if necessary. If you or someone you know has a reasonable cause to suspect that a child or a family is experiencing child abuse or neglect, please call the hotline. That number again is 1-800-342-3720. As with any of the services that are offered at the Department of Social Services, we strive to provide the best quality during this crisis, while at the same time maintaining the precautions of social distancing. While much of our contact will be conducted at this time by telephone or video conference, we realize that there are times when face-to-face contact is unavoidable. When contact as such is unavoidable, such as making assessments of child safety, assisting with referrals, dropping off supplies, prescriptions, we stay at the client's doorway whenever possible and avoid entering the home. Many of our clients rely on child welfare services to meet their basic needs. From the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis, our concern has been and remains not wanting to expose or inadvertently expose our clients to the virus. Our efforts to minimize risk include following guidance set by the Department of Health, washing our hands frequently with soap and water for the appropriate amount of time, using hand sanitizer before and after home visits, and wearing masks during any in-person contact. Prior to a home visit during this time of crisis, we assure you we can contact you if a home visit is appropriate and have a standard set of questions prior to a face-to-face meeting where together we can decide. Again, we just want to let the community know that the Department of Social Services is here and operational and will help the best way we can during these critical times. Thank you.
And I just want to jump in real quick here. Thank you for that great information. There's 3 different numbers. I had the one that was handy, and I wasn't able to jump in there until later on, and I showed them. So if you want to just repeat them again real quick, and I'll bring them up one at a time here. So I'm going to start sharing a couple of these. Just I think it's important to have these numbers handy for people. So you've got here's one number. You have the Child Abuse and Neglect Hotline.
Yeah, so that one is the New York State Central Registry Hotline. So if you or someone you know has a reasonable cause to suspect that a child has been abused or maltreated, that's the hotline number to call. And you can make a report that will initiate an investigation into allegations of abuse or neglect.
Thank you on that one.
Now, the other numbers that you're putting up there now, it's the same number for preventive services and child protective services, and that's the direct number to Genesee County. And when you call that number, you could either ask for child protective services, and you can consult with a worker or a supervisor or myself about a child protective services matter. Or if you're interested in receiving the preventive services that I spoke about, in-home preventive, that's also the number to call. So you can call that number directly and ask to speak to an intake worker or myself or a supervisor or even a caseworker. And finally, that's a nationwide New York State Parenting Education and Partnership number, 1-800-CHILDREN. Anybody can call that number for advice over the phone if you're feeling stressed, just maybe need to talk to somebody, don't have anybody to reach out to. That's a good number just to ask for some parenting advice.
Thanks, Ben, for running over that again. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
And then I believe next, Teresa, you're going to jump in with some information at the CAC.
Yeah, so the Child Advocacy Center, for folks that aren't familiar with us, works kind of as the home base for a multidisciplinary team response to child abuse. So when someone does make that call to the hotline that Ben was talking about, or to the police, that activates us to provide our services as part of the whole team of child protection and law enforcement and medical providers and prosecutors, therapists, caseworkers, victim advocates. So all the grown-ups kind of come together in one place for the child instead of the child and the family having to kind of bounce from place to place. So that is, like I said, activated through calling in to the hotline or to law enforcement. And the one thing I really wanted to get across to everybody is that this time is an unfortunate perfect storm of all of the factors that put children at risk under normal circumstances. So, on a regular day, say 4 months ago, before all this happened, the isolation and family stress and financial worries and behavioral problems on the part of the child were all factors that put kids at risk for abuse. And now we've got all this happening all at once, and families are all together in one home. So I don't think the parents really set out to harm their children, but I think it's really important for community members to be really aware of this and to support parents in their lives as best as they can, to provide, obviously, from a social distance, a phone call or a Zoom chat or something to that effect, just to try and minimize that isolation as much as possible. And it's really important too that if you're seeing some things that are of concern to you, like Ben mentioned, all you need is a suspicion, a reasonable suspicion that a child is being harmed, to call that hotline. And kind of the way that I describe that is that, when we're talking to kids about prevention issues and setting safe boundaries and being careful around adults, we always encourage kids to trust that uh-oh feeling they get in their tummy. And luckily for adults, we don't lose the uh-oh feeling. You get that uh-oh feeling, and that's your instinct saying something isn't right. And the fact is, there are so many professionals in this community. We're all still open for business. We're functioning in a way that keeps us safe and keeps you safe. But ultimately, there are some very highly trained, very passionate professionals in our community that can sort that out. So, calling that hotline number can be scary for people, but ultimately, you've got people that just want what's best for the kids. It's not about getting people in trouble. It's not about any kind of punishment, taking kids away, anything like that. The primary objective for all of us is to keep kids healthy and safe. And I think another thing that's really important for people to be mindful of is the fact that, you know, in this time of social distancing, kids are spending a lot of time at home. If they have parents who work, sometimes supervision might not be up to the standards that we usually hold for ourselves, just out of necessity. And I think it's really important for people to be mindful of the fact that about a quarter of the kids that we have come to visit us at the Child Advocacy Center have been victims of another child acting out sexually on them. So I think that it's really important for the community to keep an open mind, that we're not just talking about, you know, scary guys in vans and that typical, you know, what you see on Lifetime, what you see on Law and Order. Kids can act out sexually on other kids, and that can be for a variety of reasons. And it's really important, if something like that comes to your attention, that both children get the help and support that they need. When you've got a child that is engaging in these kinds of behaviors, the response is completely different than it would be for an adult. It's not punitive, it's focused on getting that child the help that they need. And it's the best possible point in their life to get that kind of help when they're kids, where the treatments are highly successful, where it's not going to be punitive, and where everybody involved is going to get the support that they need. So it's really important to keep that in mind, and to know that the help is available, and this isn't something that needs to remain a secret, because it's better for everyone if people get the help that they need. I've assembled a list of resources online. If you want to put them up, Matt, I can kind of go through them. Our Facebook page is, we're keeping it updated with resources that I hope will be helpful to people as they kind of navigate this completely unprecedented situation. The first resource I have on there is the Mama Bear Effect. It has a lot of resources, videos, worksheets, you know, tip sheets for parents to talk to their kids about staying safe and trusting their instincts and talking to safe adults. And, you know, when you've got this time on your hands, if you want to take a break from figuring out math, which we all need a break from time to time, this is a really good resource to help you and your kiddos to develop some skills to make them a little bit safer. The next one, the d2l.org, is a training program that we've been facilitating for a number of years. It's focused specifically for grown-ups on things that grown-ups can do to keep kids a little bit safer. And it's a unique program in that most child abuse prevention is focused on children and what children have to do, which is only a fraction of the way that we solve the problem. I mean, it really comes down to grown-ups stepping up and grown-ups making choices that keep kids safer. And this will help to kind of give you some guidance on that. There's some online training for that. The childmind.org resource is, again, very helpful. There's a lot of video resources. There's some Facebook live chats. And the folks at Childmind are used to providing resources for all kinds of kids who've experienced trauma, kids who fall on the autism spectrum, kids who have physical and intellectual delays. So this is a really good resource for parenting all types of kids and all types of challenges that you might run into with your kiddos. And then the last two, the NetSmarts Kids and the NetSmarts the NS Teens, they're produced by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So they've got a skill set that is really something you can count on. And it's the same, it's focused toward kids. There are a lot of videos and worksheets and games that both younger and older kids can play that reinforce some healthy online habits, which is really important right now because kids are online more by necessity because of school and out of a need to connect with their peers. So it's really important to make sure that they're engaging online safely and that you have an open line of communication with them about what is going on, so that if they do run into something that they didn't expect, that they can come to you for some help and assistance.
Great. Thanks, Teresa. I believe, Carrie, you were going to jump in next.
Hi, I'm Carrie Herman, the supervisor for Genesee County Adult Protective Services, and we're part of the Department of Social Services. Our program works with adults 18 and over who have some type of mental or physical impairment, and due to that impairment, it puts them at risk of harm, either from self-neglect or by neglect or abuse by others. Right now, our workforce is reduced by 50%, so we have about 2 or 3 adult protective staff members in the office each week, but we are still here providing all of the services that we normally provide. We work with about 130 individuals in the community on an ongoing basis, and then interact with others as their need for services arise. Although all of the individuals that we work with are considered vulnerable, our priority at this time, because of the COVID-19 situation, is to ensure that our most at-risk clients, such as our older adults with no one else willing or able to assist them, are remaining safe. Our caseworkers are working hard to make sure that the older adults we work with have essential items such as groceries, personal products, medications, and we're figuring out how to get those to our clients, whether it's facilitating delivery or the caseworkers bringing items to the individuals at their homes as needed. In normal circumstances, we have very frequent face-to-face contact with our clients, most of the time at their homes, interacting with them, helping them with what they need. During this time, we're trying to limit it to only those necessary home visits and eliminating any non-emergent visits. We're trying to talk to our clients regularly on the phone and assess their needs to determine what we can help them with over the phone, or whether it's going to require face-to-face contact, such as the groceries or the medications. It's kind of unavoidable. But when those situations come up and we need to interact with them at their homes face-to-face, we stay at the client's doorway whenever possible, and just try to eliminate the contact that we have with them. We're educating our clients on the health crisis as well. Some of them may not have all the information that's out there about it, so we're trying to keep them up to date and let them know the steps that they should be taking to remain safe and healthy. We continue to work closely with the Office for the Aging, one of our strongest community partners, referring any individuals that we may come across that need their assistance. We'll reach out to the Office for the Aging for things such as Meals on Wheels, especially at this time when it's hard for people to be getting all of the food that they need. Many of our clients rely on our adult protective services to meet their basic needs. So from the beginning of the crisis, our concern has been and remains not wanting to inadvertently expose them to the virus. Our efforts to minimize this risk include following the guidance set by the Department of Health, including washing our hands frequently while at work and before going out into the field, coming back, using soap and water for the appropriate length of time. We have hand sanitizer available. We use that frequently before and after home visits or any contacts with clients. Wearing face coverings with any in-person client contact. One of our caseworkers from the very beginning of the crisis took the initiative to make some face coverings for us. So we've had them since the get-go, and now our department has also providing face masks for us. So we're making sure to use those to protect ourselves and also protect the individuals that we're interacting with. Adult Protective Services is also responsible for investigating reports of abuse and neglect towards adults. Again, whether that's self-neglect or neglect by others. We continue to receive calls of concern during this time, and our team is taking the precautions while making sure that our investigations can get initiated and help anybody that's in need and eliminate any risks of harm that are facing them. We're also receiving calls from individuals who, under normal circumstances, probably wouldn't need adult protective services, but because of the crisis, they're finding themselves struggling to meet their basic needs, either because they don't want to go out for their own safety, or those individuals that were helping them are concerned about going out, and so maybe they're not helping the individuals as often as they were or not at all. So for those individuals that are finding themselves in need of, most likely will be temporary assistance, we're doing, whatever we can to help them as well. Again, our main focus has been for people, groceries, personal items, and medications. That's our priority. So, if there are people out there that need assistance or, and maybe they haven't had it in the past, they should just know that they can call us, and reach out to us. We'll talk to them about their situation, see if it's something we can help them with, or maybe we know of another agency we can link them up with. So if individuals do need assistance, or if a community member is concerned about someone else, they can call us. And Matt, you can put that number up if you'd like. Our number is 585-344-2580. You can just ask to speak with Adult Protective Services and let us know what's going on. We just want to make sure that the community is aware that we're still here and willing and ready to provide assistance to anybody that finds themselves in need.
Great. Thanks a lot, Carrie. And then last but certainly not least, Justina is here from the YWCA, and she'll be talking about a couple of issues and centered around domestic violence issues. So Justina, take it away, please.
Hi, everyone. As Matt said, my name is Justina. I'm the program director for our domestic violence program here in Genesee County at the YWCA. So as the numbers of the COVID-19 are continuing to rise in our community, unfortunately, alongside that, the incidence of domestic violence are also rising pretty quickly. Everybody is stuck inside, quarantining, social distancing, and isolation, which makes it really difficult for people to be able to reach out for services, or it will allow the abusers to increase the control over their victims. So like Teresa said, minimizing isolation and allowing phone calls or reaching out to somebody that you may know is in an abusive relationship is super important during this time. But we are still here and we're still providing domestic violence services. So as far as family court appearances, there is no appearances at family court with us at this time, but we are continuing on helping with orders of protection through family court. So if you are in need of filing for an order of protection, a family offense petition, they are accepting them on an emergency basis. We're also continuing doing screenings for our domestic violence safe house. So if you're fleeing an abusive relationship or you know somebody who is in need of shelter, they can call us for a screening. Our Parenting After Violence group, which is a group that we offer, which gives the tools to work with the other party after you've left an abusive relationship. So that's been postponed until further notice, but if you're interested, and of course, you can always call our hotline and be added to the list for the next group or any upcoming sessions. As far as referrals go, if there's any agencies that need to refer anybody to us for that group, you can still refer them over. We continue to provide assistance with safety planning. So if you're in need of a safety plan, which is super important during this time, you can call our hotline and a case manager can assist you in creating a safety plan. Or you can actually go onto our website at ywcagenesee.org, and there's guides to assist you in creating your own safety plan if you're not comfortable reaching out to us. We also have a list of other resources on our website that you can check out, and we'll continue adding resources onto our website for different agencies that may be helpful to you during this time. So it's important that we continue practicing our social distancing. So with that being said, our office is not currently taking walk-ins, but you are welcome to call our hotline and a case manager can assist you with whatever it is that you need assistance with. And our phone number for that is 343-7513. We have been putting together care packages for all of our clients as far as groceries go or personal care items. So if there is anybody who is in need of assistance, you can reach out to us as well. And we're aware that it may be difficult for anyone experiencing domestic violence during this time, that you're facing more anxiety and new challenges, and it might not be as easy for you to pick up the phone and dial our hotline number. So if you can't reach a phone or have a moment to reach out to somebody, you can reach us on Facebook on Messenger and send us a private message, and somebody can assist you through there as well. But of course, if you're in danger, call 911. So thank you. So I hope everybody is staying healthy and safe out there.
Thank you, Justina. I appreciate that. I appreciate taking some time out today to go over some of the information. I appreciate everyone taking the time to come in here, deliver some information to the people of Genesee County. It's a scary time period. People aren't quite sure what to do with some of these situations. We will continue to tape these different sessions, a few of these a week, and hopefully deliver information that the people find interesting or useful at the very least. The next one that we'll have coming up on Friday is we plan on having a session for individuals dealing with the DMV, with the county clerk and the county treasurer's office. People have been used to being able to reach in or stop by and just asking questions in person, and they won't have that there is that opportunity right now. So we thought we would put up an informational session on that. But again, as far as this one goes, thank you very much to Teresa and to Ben and to Carrie and to Justina. I thought this was very informative. Hopefully people don't need these services, but I'm glad that you're here to help them if they do need these services. So with that, socially distance, please.